As a dental professional for over 30 years, I get asked one question more than any other. What do you really tell your own kids and grandkids to avoid? It's not just about candy and soda. The real damage often comes from foods we eat every day without a second thought. For the next hour, I'm pulling back the curtain. I won't just share my list of the 7 foods I personally advise against. I'm going to walk you through exactly what they do to your teeth and gums over time. This is the advice I give my own family. Let's begin. This isn't a conversation about fear or about creating a long list of forbidden foods. This is a conversation about preservation. It's about understanding the simple mechanics of your mouth so you can keep your natural, wonderful teeth healthy and strong for life. A smile that feels good is a cornerstone of vitality. It allows you to enjoy food, to speak and laugh with confidence, and it serves as a window into your overall health. Think of this as my way of sharing what I've learned from a lifetime of looking after smiles. A message from my family to yours so you can avoid the common pitfalls I've seen time and time again. As we journey through life, our mouths change. The brilliant, hard enamel protecting our teeth can thin. Our gums may recede a little, exposing the more sensitive root surfaces. For many of us, medications become a daily routine, and a very common side effect of hundreds of prescriptions is dry mouth. Each of these changes makes our teeth more vulnerable than they were at 20. Does this mean problems are inevitable? Not at all. It means knowledge is our best defense. Understanding which foods accelerate this wear and tear is the key to a lifetime of healthy smiles. Imagine your mouth is a delicate garden. Beneficial organisms help keep everything in balance, while harmful ones, if they multiply, cause disease. The food we eat acts as the water and fertilizer. Some foods nourish the helpful organisms. Other foods act as a super fertilizer for the harmful bacteria, allowing them to create acids and toxins. For the next hour, we will become expert gardeners of our own oral health. We'll learn to spot the weeds and what to plant instead. If getting clear, practical guidance like this is something you value, consider subscribing so you don't miss our future deep dives into living well. Let's start with 2 culprits that seem obvious, but the real reasons they're on this list might surprise you. Beginning our countdown at number 7, soda, both regular and diet versions. Everyone knows the sugar in regular soda is bad for teeth. The sugar acts as the perfect food for harmful mouth bacteria. These bacteria consume the sugar and excrete acid as a waste product. It is this acid that dissolves minerals from our tooth enamel, creating a soft spot that becomes a cavity. A single can of cola can contain nearly 10 teaspoons of sugar, a massive feast for these acid-producing bacteria. But that's only half the story. What about the diet version, with no sugar at all? The real villain in soda isn't just the sugar, it's the acid added directly into the drink. To give sodas their tangy flavor and act as a preservative, manufacturers add acids like phosphoric acid and citric acid. These are powerful substances. The pH scale measures acidity, with 7 being neutral, like pure water. Our mouth thrives around that neutral 7. Tooth enamel, the hardest substance in the human body, begins to dissolve at a pH of about 5.5. The pH of most sodas hovers around 2.5. This is incredibly acidic, not far from the acidity of stomach acid. When you sip soda, you bathe your teeth in a solution that actively dissolves mineral structures. This process is called erosion. This is where the great myth of diet soda crumbles. So many people believe that because it has no sugar, it's safe for their teeth. From a dental perspective, this is false. While you remove the fuel for the bacteria, you still submerge your teeth in that same bath of phosphoric and citric acid. The direct acid erosion is identical. In some cases, certain diet sodas have been found to be even more acidic than their sugary counterparts. The damage is direct, immediate, and has nothing to do with bacteria. It's a chemical process that wears away your precious enamel, a layer your body can never replace. But does a quick sip really do that much damage? The answer to that question reveals how this all works. Every time you sip an acidic beverage, the pH in your mouth plummets into that danger zone below 5.5. Your body's natural defense is saliva, which slowly works to neutralize the acid and bring the pH back to a safe neutral 7. This process takes time, often 20 to 30 minutes for saliva to win the battle. So, if you sip a soda over the course of an hour, you renew that acid attack every few minutes, keeping your teeth in a state of active dissolution for that entire hour, plus another 30 minutes after your last sip. This prolonged exposure is why sipping is so much more destructive than drinking quickly. So, what's the practical takeaway? The best choice is always water. But if you are going to have a soda as a special treat, you can minimize the harm. First, don't sip it over a long period. Drink it with a meal and finish it in one sitting to confine the acid attack to a shorter period. Second, use a straw. A straw helps deliver the liquid to the back of your mouth, bypassing your teeth to some extent. Third, and this is crucial, after you finish, rinse your mouth thoroughly with plain water. Swish for 30 seconds. This helps wash away residual sugar and neutralize that damaging acid much faster than your saliva could alone. This one small change can have a significant impact on your enamel. Moving on to number 6 on my list, a category that often flies under the radar, especially when we're feeling unwell, hard candy and cough drops. Much like soda, the obvious problem is sugar. A hard candy is essentially a solid block of sugar. The reason it's particularly troublesome for teeth is not just the amount of sugar, but the duration of exposure. A piece of chocolate melts and is swallowed relatively quickly. A hard candy, by design, dissolves slowly in the mouth over 5, 10, even 15 minutes. During that entire time, you create what dentists call a sugar bath. A continuous, slow-release supply of sugar washes over every surface of every tooth. This provides an all-you-can-eat buffet for the acid-producing bacteria. They go into a frenzy, producing acid for the entire time that candy is in your mouth. This prolonged exposure overwhelms your saliva's ability to neutralize the acid. It creates the perfect conditions for cavities to form, especially in the deep grooves of your molars where the sugary liquid can cool. But what about the physical risk? There's a second, more mechanical danger with hard candy, a risk that becomes more pronounced as we get older. Our teeth are incredibly strong, but not indestructible. After decades of chewing, they can develop tiny microscopic craze lines or become slightly more brittle. Biting down on a hard candy at just the wrong angle can be the final straw that fractures a piece of a tooth. It might be a small chip, or it could be a significant crack that travels down the tooth, requiring a crown or even a root canal. It's a sudden event that can turn a simple snack into an expensive and uncomfortable dental visit. Now let's talk about the Trojan horse in this category, the cough drop. When we have a cold or sore throat, we reach for a cough drop thinking of it as medicine. But next time you're in the pharmacy, pick up a bag of standard cough drops and read the ingredients. More often than not, the first ingredient will be sugar or corn syrup. They are, for all intents and purposes, hard candy marketed as a health product. And we often use them at the worst possible time, when we're sick, perhaps not keeping up with our oral hygiene, and maybe even sleeping with one in our mouth. This is a recipe for disaster. So, what should you do when you have a sore throat? The solution is simple. The pharmacy aisles are now filled with excellent sugar-free cough drops. They are sweetened with alternatives like xylitol or sorbitol, which do not feed cavity-causing bacteria. They provide the same soothing relief without the destructive sugar bath. It's an easy and important swap. For a sweet treat, opt for something that doesn't linger. A small piece of high-quality dark chocolate is a much better choice. It melts quickly and contains less sugar. The key is to choose treats that are gone in a minute, not ones that stick around for 10. Now we move from the obvious to the surprising. These are the habits I see causing unexpected damage, things people rarely connect with their dental health. Number 5 on my list is not a food at all, but a habit: chewing on ice. For many, it's a mindless action, something to do with the leftover ice in a drink. It's refreshing, crunchy, and seems harmless. It's just frozen water with no sugar or acid. But in my world, the sound of someone crunching on ice is like hearing nails on a chalkboard, because I've seen the aftermath up close. The problem with ice chewing is a battle of physics. Tooth enamel is the hardest substance in the human body, but it's also a brittle crystal structure. Ice is also a brittle crystal structure. When you force these two materials together with the incredible force of your jaw, something has to give. Sometimes it's the ice. Far too often, it's the tooth. You might get away with it 1,000 times, but it only takes one time, one wrong angle, for a piece of your tooth to fracture. But there's another hidden danger at play here. This other factor is called thermal shock. Imagine taking a hot glass dish and plunging it into cold water. It's likely to shatter. While the effect is less dramatic in your mouth, the principle is similar. Your teeth are at body temperature. Ice is at freezing. Subjecting your teeth to this rapid and extreme temperature change can cause microscopic cracks to form and spread within the enamel. Think of them like tiny fault lines. They may be invisible and cause no pain at first, but over time, with repeated stress from chewing, these tiny cracks can grow. These microfractures are an open invitation for trouble. They can stain easily, making teeth appear discolored. More importantly, they act as highways for bacteria to bypass the hard enamel and get into the softer dentin layer beneath. This can lead to sudden, sharp sensitivity to hot or cold, or decay that starts deep inside the tooth where it's much harder to detect. I've had patients come in with a tooth that suddenly broke while eating something soft like bread. The bread wasn't the cause. It was the final straw for a tooth weakened by years of cumulative damage from habits like ice chewing. I often hear, "But I've been chewing ice my whole life and I'm fine. Why stop now?" I understand that, but the damage is cumulative. It's like bending a paperclip back and forth. It looks fine for the first 20 bends, but on the 21st, it snaps. Your teeth are incredibly resilient, but they have a breaking point. As we age, that breaking point gets closer. Continuing a high-risk habit like ice chewing is a gamble, and the stakes are a broken tooth and a dental emergency. The solution is about replacing the habit. Ask yourself what you enjoy about chewing ice. Is it the coldness or the crunch? If you crave the cold, simply let the ice melt in your mouth without chewing. You get the same refreshing sensation with zero risk. If you crave the crunch, find a tooth-safe substitute. Swap the ice for something that provides a satisfying crunch but is gentler on your teeth. A crisp, cold apple slice is wonderful. A stick of celery or a baby carrot gives a great snap and also helps clean your teeth as you chew. Find a healthy, crunchy alternative and keep it on hand. It's a simple swap that could save you from a world of hurt. Let's move to number 4 on the list, and this is a big one. This category of food most people would never suspect is a major contributor to cavities: starchy snacks. I'm talking about potato chips, crackers, pretzels, and even soft white bread. These foods aren't sweet, they don't taste sugary, so how could they possibly be a problem? The answer lies in simple chemistry that happens right inside your mouth. Your saliva contains powerful enzymes that begin digestion the moment food enters your mouth. One of these enzymes, amylase, has a specific job: to break down complex carbohydrates or starches into sugars. So when you put a salty cracker or a potato chip in your mouth and start chewing, amylase goes to work. turning the starch into sugar before you even swallow. You are essentially creating sugar right on the surface of your teeth. But that's not even the main problem. The bigger issue is the texture. When these starchy foods mix with your saliva, they don't dissolve and wash away cleanly. Instead, they form a thick, sticky, gummy paste. Think about eating a handful of potato chips. That chewed-up material gets packed into the deep grooves on your molars. It gets stuck between your teeth. This starchy plaque paste is incredibly tenacious and can adhere to your teeth for hours after you finish snacking. How does this compare to something obviously sugary, like candy? Compare that to a sugary drink. The soda washes over your teeth and is gone. The damage comes from the acid, but the sugar itself doesn't linger for long. This starchy paste, however, sticks around like glue. And since it's actively being broken down into sugar the entire time it's there, it provides a continuous, long-lasting food source for cavity-causing bacteria. It's like setting up a permanent buffet for them in the hardest-to-clean areas of your mouth. In some ways, this can be even more insidious than eating candy because the residue lasts so much longer. Many dentists agree that the stickiness of a food is just as important, if not more so, than its raw sugar content. Does this mean all bread and crackers are off limits? No, not at all. It's about making smarter choices. Highly refined, processed starches, like those in white bread and plain saltine crackers, are the worst offenders because they break down into a smooth paste very easily. A better choice would be a whole grain cracker that contains seeds and nuts. These don't break down as readily, and their fibrous texture can even help scrub your teeth as you chew. The other key is context. Eating a few crackers as part of a larger meal is much better than snacking on them alone. The other food helps break up the sticky residue, and your mouth produces more saliva during a meal, which helps wash everything away. The simplest, most powerful action you can take is to follow up any starchy snack with a vigorous rinse of water. Swishing for 30 seconds can dislodge a surprising amount of that sticky paste. For a truly tooth-friendly snack alternative, you can't beat a piece of cheese. Cheese helps to neutralize acid and contains calcium and phosphates, which can help remineralize tooth enamel. It's a delicious swap that actively protects your smile. This brings us to number 3, another daily ritual for millions: alcohol. Most people know red wine can stain teeth and that sugary cocktails are packed with sugar. But the most significant dental danger from alcohol is more subtle and affects your entire oral environment. The number one problem with alcohol is that it causes dry mouth. But why is a dry mouth so dangerous? Let me sing the praises of saliva. We take it for granted, but saliva is the superhero of your oral health, your mouth's first and best line of defense. First, it constantly washes away food particles. Second, it's rich in buffering agents that neutralize acids. Third, it contains calcium and phosphate ions that actively help rebuild enamel. And fourth, it contains special enzymes and antibodies that directly attack harmful bacteria. Saliva is a miracle of natural engineering. Alcohol, however, is a desiccant. It dries out tissues. It's also a diuretic, causing your body to lose fluid. These effects combine to significantly reduce saliva flow. When your mouth is dry, all those amazing protective functions of saliva shut down. Food particles aren't washed away. Acids aren't neutralized. Enamel isn't remineralized, and bacteria are free to multiply. A dry mouth is the perfect breeding ground for cavities and gum disease. This problem is amplified for many people over the age of 55. Why? Because hundreds of common medications for things like blood pressure, allergies, and depression also have dry mouth as a primary side effect. If you are on one of these medications and also consume alcohol regularly, you create a perfect storm of dryness in your mouth. This can lead to a rapid and aggressive form of tooth decay, often appearing right along the gum line where teeth are most vulnerable. It's a devastating combination I see all too often. Now, what about the supposed heart health benefits of a single glass of red wine? It's a valid point. This conversation is not about overall health, but specifically oral health. From that perspective, it's important to remember that all wine, red or white, is also highly acidic. It contributes to the enamel erosion we discussed earlier. So while a single glass may have other benefits, it still presents a challenge for your teeth through both its acidity and its drying effect. The practical advice here is about mitigation and hydration. If you choose to have an alcoholic beverage, make it a rule to drink a full glass of plain water alongside it. Sip the water intermittently to keep your mouth moist and rinse your teeth. After you've finished, don't go straight to bed. Give your saliva time to recover. Chewing a piece of sugar-free gum can be a great way to stimulate saliva flow. And it is absolutely critical that you never fall asleep without thoroughly brushing and flossing, especially after drinking. Removing plaque before your mouth becomes dry for the night is one of the most important things you can do. We've arrived at number 2 on the list, a category of foods often celebrated for their health benefits but hiding a significant risk to your enamel: pickled foods and vinegars. This includes everything from the pickles on your sandwich to sauerkraut to the apple cider vinegar many people add to their water as a health tonic. These foods are known for their probiotic content, but they have a dark side when it comes to your teeth. The secret ingredient giving these foods their tang and preserving them is vinegar, a solution of acetic acid, and it is extremely acidic. Let's return to our pH scale. Water is a neutral 7. Your enamel starts to dissolve at about 5.5. The pH of a typical vinegar is somewhere between 2.4 and 3.4. This level of acidity can do serious, rapid damage to your tooth enamel. When you eat a pickled food, you place a small, acid-soaked sponge directly against your teeth. But what about the popular health trend of drinking diluted vinegar? The modern trend of sipping on apple cider vinegar in water throughout the day is particularly concerning. While the vinegar is diluted, it is still highly acidic. And just like with soda, the problem is the prolonged exposure. Sipping this acidic water all morning means you are keeping your oral pH in the enamel-dissolving danger zone for hours. It's a slow-motion erosion process that can strip away enamel, leading to yellowing teeth as the darker dentin underneath shows through, and extreme sensitivity to temperature. People trying to do something good for their bodies are unknowingly causing irreversible harm to their smiles. Does this mean you must give up your favorite pickles or vinaigrette? Absolutely not. It's about being strategic. Minimize the contact time and help your mouth recover quickly. First, consume these foods as part of a larger meal, not as a standalone snack. When eaten with other non-acidic foods, the overall acidity is buffered. Cheese on a sandwich with a pickle is a much better combination than eating the pickle by itself. Second, if you drink a vinegar tonic, do not sip it. Drink it all at once through a straw positioned towards the back of your mouth to bypass your teeth. And third, this is perhaps the most important piece of advice in this entire discussion. Do not brush your teeth immediately after consuming something highly acidic. Your enamel is in a softened, vulnerable state right after an acid attack. If you go at it with a toothbrush and a brace of toothpaste, you literally scrub away the softened enamel. You must wait. Rinse your mouth thoroughly with plain water to neutralize the acid, and then wait at least 30 to 60 minutes for your saliva to remineralize the tooth surface before you brush. This single habit can save your enamel. And now we come to number 1. The food I consider a most problematic on this list, especially because it is so deceptive. It combines the worst aspects of almost everything else we've discussed, all wrapped in a package that screams health and performance. The number 1 food I tell my family to avoid is sports and energy drinks. These beverages are a triple threat to your teeth. Threat number 1 is the staggering amount of sugar. They are marketed as fuel for athletic performance, and that fuel is often just massive quantities of sugar. A single bottle of a popular sports drink can contain more sugar than a can of soda. It's an enormous feast for acid-producing bacteria. We often give these to our kids at sporting events, thinking we are helping them when we are actually dousing their teeth in liquid sugar. Threat number 2 is the extreme acidity. To make them taste tangy and refreshing, these drinks are loaded with citric acid. Their pH levels are often shockingly low, sometimes even more acidic than cola. So not only are you feeding the bacteria to produce acid, you are also adding a powerful dose of acid directly from the bottle. It's a 1-2 punch of sugar-fueled bacterial acid and direct chemical acid erosion happening at the same time. But the third threat is what makes them so uniquely destructive. Threat number 3 is the context in which they are consumed. These drinks are designed to be sipped slowly over the course of a workout. And what happens when we exercise? Our mouths become very dry. We lose the protective benefit of saliva. So you have this perfect storm. You are sipping a highly sugary, highly acidic beverage repeatedly over a long period into a dry mouth that has no ability to defend itself. From a dental perspective, you could not design a more destructive beverage if you tried. The health halo around these products is powerful. They have athletes on the label and talk about electrolytes. And for elite athletes in hours of intense activity, there may be a place for them. But for the average person, a child at a soccer game, or an adult going for a brisk walk, they are nothing more than a sugar and acid bomb. For almost every hydration need, water is the absolute best choice. It's what your body actually needs, and it has a perfect neutral pH. If you are concerned about electrolytes after a strenuous activity, there are many sugar-free electrolyte powders you can add to your water that replenish you without destroying your teeth. Treat sports drinks with the same caution you would any other sugary, acidic indulgence. I know that as we've gone through this list, it might feel overwhelming. It can sound like a long list of things to give up. But this is not about achieving perfection. It's not about never having a soda at a party or a cracker with your soup ever again. Life is meant to be enjoyed. This is about awareness. It's about understanding the difference between a daily habit and a rare treat. It's the things we do every single day without thinking that shape our long-term health. Having one soda isn't the problem. Having one soda every single day is what leads to cumulative, irreversible damage. The goal is to shift the balance. For those of us with already sensitive teeth, this advice is doubly important. Sensitivity is often a sign that your enamel has worn thin, exposing the delicate layer underneath. By avoiding these acidic and sugary foods, you not just prevent future damage, you actively protect your teeth from the daily discomfort that can come with sensitivity. And for those caring for an older parent or a loved one, this knowledge is a powerful tool. You can make a tremendous difference in their comfort and health with a few simple swaps. Choosing cheese over crackers for a snack or offering water instead of juice are small acts of care with huge long-term benefits. The most powerful tools for protecting your smile don't come in a fancy bottle. They are simple, free actions. Remember the power of rinsing with water after any meal or snack. Remember to wait at least 30 minutes to brush after consuming anything acidic. And remember to do things that encourage saliva, like chewing sugar-free gum or simply staying well hydrated. These basic principles are your best defense. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one central idea. It's not just about avoiding sugar. It's about managing the 4 key dangers: acid, stickiness, hardness, and dryness. When you look at a food, you can now ask yourself, is this highly acidic? Is it going to stick in the grooves of my teeth? Is it hard enough to risk a fracture? Will it dry out my mouth? This simple framework empowers you to make smart choices, no matter what food is in front of you. This knowledge gives you control over the future of your smile. The biggest takeaway from this entire hour is that you are in control. Every meal is a choice, an opportunity to either harm or to help the health of your mouth. If this guide has given you even one new tool to protect your smile, help us reach and empower others by liking this video and hitting that subscribe button. It's the best way to ensure more people see this vital information. Remember, a healthy life is built one small, smart bite at a time. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.